I spent $55 dues on this PSP 3000, which supposedly doesn't work. Quickly open it up and see what we got. Quite well packaged. There we go. Two nice little baggies. There we have it. PSP 3000, that's what we wanted. The problem with it is apparently these buttons. So because those buttons don't work, they can't get past the setup. So let's plug it in and see if they're right. Alright, so it turns on. Probably doesn't do anything here. They are working. And that is definitely not working, and it's not proceeding. Let's open it. There's usually some sort of warranty sticker there, I believe. So this has probably been opened before. There, we've got our faceplate off. See our button pad there. The actual conductive piece underneath. Let's get this screen out of the way so we can get a better look. Now they're all plugged in under here still. Bit of a painful spot. Now we've got that screen out, we can get a better look at what's going on our board here. Move view. So we've got 4 button pads under that. One cable running to this little board here, which is also for the power switch. Also up here, connection to the main board. Now there is an adhesive that holds this pad piece down, so before I go ripping that up, we might chuck it under the microscope and see if we can see anything cool under there.
So pretty much what we're looking for here, any signs of broken trace, broken connector, liquid damage, signs of abuse, Bigfoot even, I don't know. Anything to give us a bit more confidence that what we're going to replace here is actually the problem. There was a slight dark patch underneath that circle button, but whether or not that's the cause, I don't know. Overall, it actually does look pretty good in there. No broken pins. The caps all look fine. In there, we got a little bit of white stuff, unknown substance. Who knows? We'll spray it out with the compressed air and we'll keep on going.
Quickly check after reseating those cables if it does anything. Otherwise, we'll replace that. Nothing at all. There's a dark patch in that button pad there on the circle one, which is the one it's asking to be pressed. So I think my best course of action is to replace this adhesive pad with its connectors and go from there.
Alright, now that I've got the old one out, I've got my brand new one that I got from AliExpress, costing me just under $6 dues, or about $4 USD. That was including postage, and it arrived in about 2 weeks. Now sometimes you find with aftermarket parts like this, they're not a very good fit or they don't work. This has fit nicely, it looks pretty much the same, different colour, but that's not going to matter. Let's see how we go.
So now those buttons are in. Just before I reassemble it, I've got a quick shout out to do to today's sponsor, PCB Way, the market leaders in PCB printing. If you have some designs that you need brought to life, simple or complex, PCB Way are the go-to printers. Now this year has also been quite a milestone year for them in celebration of their 10th anniversary. Now in celebration of this event, they're giving away coupons, exclusive badges, and prizes in a lucky draw. I'll leave a link down below in the description so that you can check it out for yourself, and hurry as these deals must end at the end of this month.
I'm just going to go ahead and reassemble the rest of it now with the extra button piece on top. Get these connectors plugged back in. Now everyone always complains about DS Lite connectors, you know, top screens being a pain to do. I personally think the connectors all being behind the screen is a bigger pain in the ass. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think I'm an idiot, yeah, maybe. But that's just my opinion. I've also worked on a shitload more DSLRs, so it could be that as well. Now, since it didn't come with a battery, I went and bought one. Costed me about 18 Australian, which is about 12 USD. So we have a complete console once again. Will it work? Moment of truth. It is in Japanese, which is hard for me to read. It works! Alright, please hold while I work out how to get it into Australian again. Okay, we can read it now. We'll have a look around. We'll load a game in it because obviously that's the last thing we need to test. Everything else seems pretty fine. We got Old Faithful. Worms. So far, so good. So given the shoulder button was also part of that assembly, we'll make sure they work, which it is by the look of things. It's zooming in and zooming out. Try all the other action buttons. I've forgotten the buttons of this game. I can't remember how to play it. The only time I ever played it is when I'm testing a broken console, so...
Nice.
Right, so there you have it. PSP 3000 fixed. I just changed the theme on it because that brown was poo, I believe. Let's work out how much it cost me and have a look at similar sold prices to see if this was worth it in the end.
So we're going to do some maths, even though nobody likes it. If you add all three of those together, you get a total of 79.27 Australian, or just under 52 USD. So we're going to jump on eBay now and have a look at the listings. We can see there's quite a variation in price depending on if it's a special edition or standard, if it's bundled stuff. What we're interested in though is looking at these sold listings. That will give us an idea of what actually sold and how much for. Pretty much everything is minimum $100 here, so we should be in the green a little bit depending on how much postage is and eBay fees. That one there for 70 was actually sold for parts. I didn't change the condition to used.
There you go, it looks like I should be able to sell that, make my money back, get a little bit of profit. If you need any of the parts I used in this today, I leave links in the description below so you can get the exact same ones that I bought, and they're affiliate links, so I get a little bit out of it too, so I can keep buying broken shit, keep doing repairs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, see you in the next one.